Call this meeting to order in the spirit of truth and reconciliation. We acknowledge the town of Edson is located on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional and ancestral lands of the Nikawak, Saulteaux, Siksika, Piikani, Kainai, Dene, Nakota Sioux, and the Ipitimisewac Métis nations. We honor the knowledge of this land, the elders and youth which gather here, and our ancestors who have gathered here for centuries. Can I get a motion that the agenda for the February 18th, 2025 regular meeting of council be adopted as presented? Go ahead, Councillor Chouinard.
I'll make the motion for the adoption of February 18th agenda.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. Can I get a motion, please, that the minutes of the February 4th, 2025 regular meeting of council be adopted as presented? Go ahead, Councillor Moore.
I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. We have no public hearings, no presentations and delegations, no bylaws. We are going to move on to business items. Mr. Clayton Kitlitz, General Manager of Infrastructure and Operations, will speak on the item Edson Regional Airport Cost Share Agreement. Go ahead, Mr. Kitlitz.
Super. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and members of council. This evening, administration is looking for council to authorize the endorsement of the Edson Regional Airport Operating and Funding Agreement for a 5-year period commencing on January 1st of 2024 to December 31st of 2028. This particular service, being the regional airport, is a cost share that was identified in the Intermunicipal Collaboration Framework Bylaw 2234 between the town of Edson and Yellowhead County. Within that bylaw, it provides sort of 3 guiding principles or elements, them being that the parties have an agreement in place for the operation and funding of the municipal airport located within the town boundaries. 2, that the town of Edson is a lead municipality. And finally, that the funding for the airport is provided by shared municipal contributions as specified in the agreement. Just for clarity, because the 3 attachments are very similar, if you're not clear. The first attachment is the existing agreement that expired, the initial agreement that we believe is the initial agreement that expired on the 31st of December of 2023. Attachment number 2 are the redlined amendments made to that agreement through the negotiation with county administration over the last year and a bit. And then finally, attachment number 3 is the final agreement that was endorsed by Yellowhead County Council on the 28th of January of 2025. Page 2 of the agreement goes through sort of the chronological steps taken to got us to tonight's decision point. I won't read through all those here tonight, but I'm certainly happy to answer any questions or try to fill in any of the blanks in support of the motion for tonight. So with that, I'll pass it back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Kitlitz. Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Kitlitz regarding this agreement? Go ahead, Councillor Taylor.
Through the mayor to Mr. Kitlitz, thanks for your work putting this together. Just regards to the capital purchases for the next year, looking at our capital plan, we have a few things upcoming within our 5-year capital plan that I think is 2026, we have facility upgrade for $25,000, runway asphalt in 2028, and Alberta wildfire site apron extension in 2029. The county has been made aware of those items thus far. Have they?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, following council approving that, they haven't endorsed. I don't think council has seen the 5-year plan yet. But we have shared that information by email to Yellowhead County administration.
Okay. And let's follow up. These amounts that are seen here, these are the amounts to us that in our 5-year plan. There's a separate cost to them, would be 35% to them? No, sorry.
No, just through you, Mr. Mayor, this cost share is actually at 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, this one's 50-50.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Council. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I will take a motion. Go ahead, Councillor Chouinard.
Okay, Jesus Christ. I'll make the motion, where is it now?
You'll make a motion to authorize the endorsement of the Edson Regional Airport Operating and Funding Agreement for the period of January 2024 January 1st, 2024 and December 31st, 2028.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just found it. Yes,
And I will
that's the
caution
motion.
you on your use of language. Your mic was on when you made that comment.
Okay.
All right, council, do you have any further questions, comments, or concerns before I take your vote? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried. And next up, we have Mr. Doug Wagstaff, General Manager of Canadian Protective Services on the joint. Sorry, thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Doug Wagstaff, General Manager, Community and Protective Services. And go ahead, Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, through the mayor, I'll be declaring a conflict of interest as Living Waters is my teaching employer.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. And we'll hand things over to Mr. Wagstaff. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor and Council, today we have both agreements attached from Living Waters and as well as Grand Yellowhead. Just a little bit of an update on what a JUPA is. In June 2020, the Municipal Government Act was amended and now requires municipalities to enter into a joint use planning agreement, which is JUPA, with school boards that operate within the municipality. The amendments originally provided a 3-year timeline to complete the new agreement. However, that was extended to June of 2025, and as of this Friday, it was extended again until June of 2026. These agreements cover shared use, access, funding, as well as planning the acquisition of lands for future school sites. A facility use agreement was signed in 1983 with the Edson Roman Catholic Separate School District number 53, which currently guides our relationship with Living Waters Catholic Separate School Division. In 2011, JUPA was established with Grand Yellowhead Public School Division number 77, which sets out the principles guiding the working relationship today. These agreements are outdated. They focus primarily only on facility usage. They do not cite specific facilities and lack specifics to the development of future school sites. And as a whole, the existing agreements do not meet the required standards under the MGA. Administration has been working with the local school divisions to develop updated JUPAs to replace the existing agreements. The attached proposed agreements identify the shared facilities and define the administrative responsibilities for each organization. These two agreements both follow a standard boilerplate and are nearly identical with the exception of Schedules B and C, which are specific to each division's facilities. The Grand Yellowhead agreement does not have a governing committee. I'll just touch a little bit about that difference between having a governing committee and not having a governing committee. They are on an as-needed basis, and the approach that Grand Yellowhead has taken with its other municipal partners has been to not have that included because they are on an as-needed basis, and the groups that would get together could do so even without the agreement, that it doesn't limit that ability for the CAO, mayor, and council to meet with the superintendent and the school division board of trustees. Schedule C, one of the things I would like to point out here is we have identified, the town has identified through a number of different points that there is a gap within the use to be able to access some of the schools, in particular gymnasium facilities, in the weekends and in particular Sundays and stat holidays. This is something that can still be addressed without having it specifically in a JUPA because there is the comments in both, or there is the statement in both of these schedules where community use of school facilities on outside of joint use hours may be considered through special request. In particular, Grand Yellowhead did express that that this is something that they would still consider on an ad hoc basis. And this does allow us to be able to work with the school divisions, the respective school divisions and the individual schools themselves to be able to put that together. In speaking with both administrations at the school level and at the division level, I understand, or we understand their the challenges that they face with regards to the mandates they have and the funding they have to be able to operate facilities outside of delivering education. But they do each, want to be involved in the community to offer those facilities as much as they can, and are willing to work with the town on an ongoing basis to see how that can happen, utilizing the JUPA, but more so outside of the JUPA agreement itself. And with that, the next step, administration would conduct a final review with consideration of council's feedback and bring back the agreements in a future council meeting for further review. I do want to note there are still proofreading yet to do. As much as they are boilerplates, there was things that we're still finding even after a year of going back and forth between each, where we're finding just little typos from the differences that need to be reviewed one last time.
Thank you, Mr. Wagstaff, for your presentation. Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Wagstaff? Go ahead, Councillor Chenard.
Through the mayor to Mr. Wagstaff. You kind of touched on it, and that's the biggest question I get asked by the public, the procedure of how to use the gymnasium, how they go about booking it. So I kind of read through it, but I'm glad that we are talking about it because I don't really understand how. So if, let's say in September, you approach the school to say, I'm gonna have a volleyball, basketball tournament or something coming up, how would an individual go about booking the school for spaces?
Well, and that's set out in a process that's outside of the JUPA itself. What the JUPA is setting up is the fact that we can have an agreement to utilize it reciprocally. And I'd have to just double check on the exact process because you can phone the leisure center and get directed then into the school, or you can phone the school directly. But I will ensure, Mr. Mayor, to all of council, I'll make sure that that I follow up with you and letting you know exactly what that process is, so you can inform any constituents that are residents that are asking that question.
Thank you. Council, any other questions? So, Mr. Wagstaff, in your presentation, you talked about, the governance and meeting with the school division and council. And I do notice in the GYPSD agreement, under 7 on page 7 of 31, it does state here that the council, the municipality, and members of the division shall meet at least every 4 years to discuss issues of mutual interest. To be clear, I have no problems with meeting with our partners, whether that's school divisions, other municipalities, but I'm really challenged when we are putting a timeline on how often we need to meet. When you're meeting for the sake of meeting, it's a complete waste of everybody's time, and I've experienced this around this table, where we try to meet with our education partners, and we really have nothing to talk about except, look at what we're doing. And I don't think that's a good use of anybody's time. So my only suggestion would be to look at that area and see if that actually needs to be mandated in the agreement. I'd much rather do that on an ad hoc basis. If the school division has something they need to talk to council about, or vice versa, those meetings can be arranged instead of dictating how often we need to meet just for the sake of meeting. That's just my comments. Council, any further questions, comments, concerns? CO Beveridge, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just for clarity, within the agreements, it actually, page 24 of 33 in the living waters and page 23 of 33, or 31, shall I say, does specify how the facility can be booked. It's through the facility scheduling coordinator for the municipality. So it is set out within the schedules for each of those for those school divisions, just so for clarity.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Counselor Schneider, you have something new?
Yes, just to follow up on that, I did see the procedure where the public is confused is they'll call the school or the school board or leisure center, and everyone gives them a different answer, is what we're just showing. I'm looking for, I read that, but I'm looking for, so if someone asks me and say, this is how you do it, you call here. Because right now I don't know and I don't want to misguide them. So I'm just looking, because I did read this, so that way if they want to book it, you go to, who do you go to is all I'm looking for.
All right, thank you, Counselor Schneider. We'll get you that information. Any other further questions, comments, concerns? If not, I will take a motion, please. Go ahead, Counselor Pisichny.
Yeah, I move council accept the joint use and planning agreement with Living Waters Catholic School Division as information.
Thank you, Counselor Schneider. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried. Counselor Pisichny, thank you very much for that motion.
I see a smile on his face.
And I will take the second motion, please, for GYPSD. Go ahead, Counselor Bevan.
I'll make the motion that council accept the joint use and planning agreement with Grandale Levy Regional School Division as information.
Thank you, Counselor Bevan. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. If somebody would like to go get Counselor Taylor? Thank you, Mr. Wagstaff. All right, we will move on to council committee reports, and we are going back to February the 5th. Please queue up and give me your report. Go ahead, Councillor Pisichny.
Yeah, on February the 6th, I had a Edson Seniors Transportation Board meeting. February 11th, Committee of the Whole. February 12th, Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Anything you need to highlight in those meetings? Councillor Chenard? Councillor Pisichny. I did it again.
Wear a tie.
I need to highlight right now.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Chenard.
Okay, February 7th, I had Trans-Canada Highway meeting. Highlights, we're still looking for more memberships. We're getting a positive with Aboriginal tourism through all 4 provinces. And Alberta Transportation is taking note of our meetings, and they are updating us, so it is helping. And on February 11th, I had Committee of the Whole. That's it for my report.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor.
On February 7th, I attended the Reynolds Mirth Richards Farmer Law Seminar, where we looked at, saw some seminars on homelessness, as well as housing development ideas. On February 11th, I attended a Committee of the Whole meeting where everyone aged 1,000 years. And on February 18th, we had our homelessness, which was today, I had a homelessness task force meeting where we looked at different ideas for some housing, transitional housing options in the future. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Bevan.
On February 11th, I zoomed in 3 times to the Committee of the Whole meeting, and that's it.
Thank you. Councillor Moore.
Thank you. Yes, I attended the same lawyers' meeting as Councillor Taylor. I found varying topics quite interesting. And February 11th, Council Committee meeting, and that's it for me.
And you aged.
Thank you, Councillor Moore, for that update. Committee of the Whole, February the 11th. On the 12th, I had Attraction Retention Committee Subcommittee meeting where we talked about some of our strategies for not only retaining our current physicians, but looking at ways to encourage new ones to come to our community. We will have 3 individuals attending the Rural Physicians Conference in Winnipeg, including the Mayor of Yellow County and 2 members from the Medical Center. We're also working on consolidating all the information on the incentives available for those looking to get into physicians' contracts or into Alberta, moving into Alberta. There's lots of different information out there on the incentives AHS is providing, the Rural Physicians Group, as well as our local Community Care Foundation has some incentives. So we are compiling all that information, so we'll have all that documentation available in one place. We're also working with the local physicians group on a proposal to assist our current physicians, as well as hopefully put a carrot out there for those that are looking to maybe move to Edson to make us stand out above other communities. A lot of the programs that are available to 451 rural communities across the province. So we have to do some things in order to make ourselves stand out. If the local physicians group is on board with that, there will be a presentation coming forward to council in the future. And a lot of work is being done by a very small group of individuals. And if there's any individuals in the community that are interested in helping with physician recruitment, we are looking for more volunteers, so they can contact myself or Councillor Chachka on that. And that is my report. We have no information items, no notices of motion. I will ask for a motion to move into closed session. Go ahead, Councillor Chouinard, are you ready?
I'll make the motion to move into closed session.
Pursuant to sections 16, 24, and 25 of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. All those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Screen, please. To that council authorize administration to proceed as directed in closed session.
Give me one moment here and I'll get that up for you.
So Councillor Moore, would you like to make a motion that administration proceed as directed in closed session?
Yes.
Go ahead, Councillor Moore.
That administration proceed as directed in closed session.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? That motion is carried unanimously, and I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everyone.